In this lecture, we will learn how to use rules at the job level to include or exclude jobs from the pipeline. So here we have the previous example where we use the rules keyword at the workflow level to control and specify when we want to create the pipeline. The same for the job level, so we can copy this section and we can move it to one of the jobs. For example, we can control and specify when we want to include or exclude the Docker push job. So here after this stage, I will mention the rules. So I will keep only the first rule. So here, if the image name is web app, we want to include the job. So the push job will be one of the jobs of the pipeline. Otherwise, so if this rule doesn't match, the Docker push job will be excluded from the pipeline. Okay. So if we see the value given to the image name, so it is web app 1. So it is different from the value mentioned here, which is web app. So the Docker push job will not be included in the pipeline. Okay, so we will have only two jobs, the Docker build job and the Docker test job. Okay, so let's commit the changes and see the execution of the pipeline and see if we will have the Docker push job or not. So a new pipeline was triggered. So now we see that here in the pipeline, we have only the Docker stage and we have only two jobs, which are the Docker build job and the Docker test job. Okay, so we didn't have the Docker push job, and that's because this rule doesn't match. Okay, if we change the value given to the image name variable, so let's set this variable to web app, and we will cancel this pipeline. So now we have changed the value given to the image name to web app, and we have the same value mentioned here in this rule. So now this rule should match, and the Docker push job will be included in the pipeline. Okay, so let's commit the changes. So now a new pipeline was triggered. So now we have three jobs: the Docker build job, the Docker push job, and the Docker test job. Okay, so now the Docker test job is included in the pipeline because this rule matches. Okay, we can add other rules, for example, using the changes keyword or using the exists keyword, as we did with rules at the pipeline level. Okay, so that's all for now. Thank you very much and see you next time.